Hey, what is going on, guys? Sports 15 here. Today, we have another episode of the Toronto Blue Jays franchise here in MLB 13, the show. So we were supposed to have 3 games left in the regular season that I was going to show you guys, but this is going to be the final episode of the regular season here in year 3. You can see our all-star players and everything. I was able to save this footage because I simulated on one save file, and then I played 2 more games after the all-star break, which those files got corrupt. So I couldn't use those or edit them or anything. But yeah, you saw we had 3 pitching all-stars in Josh Johnson, Zach Greinke, and Aroldis Chapman. Then Jose Reyes right here is an all-star. Jose Bautista is our 5th all-star, and then our 6th and final one is Mike Trout. So we have pretty much this, and then we have a trade coming up. Well, actually 2 trades, and then the final game, the clinching game for our playoff spot here in year 3. We pretty much have a playoff spot secured, and I think it's the 3rd last game of the season that I'm showing you guys. But right here you can see we're making a huge trade. We're giving up Will Myers and Yasiel Puig, 2 85s in the outfield, and then Carlos Truffaut, who's just a 75 overall, A potential. But he's a little bit older, and he's not that good at hitting, so I decided we could get rid of him. But we're getting Yoenis Cespedes, who's a 97 overall. He's a very, very sweet player. And then we got Travis Snyder coming back, and you can see his pedo stash that he had whenever he was a Toronto Blue Jay. But we got him back in the deal just because we're losing 2 out. We didn't want to have 1 less outfielder. But you see right here is the second trade. We're giving up Josh Tolley and Bill Cutliff for Jesse Crane and Tyler Flowers. Jesse Crane is going to be a very, very good addition to our bullpen. If you guys remember from the off-season episode, whenever I was setting up the lineups and everything, we really needed to improve our bullpen, and this should help us going into the playoffs. And then we had to give up Josh Tolley because that was the least we could give up, and then we needed a catcher back in return, and Tyler Flowers is actually an upgrade on Josh Tolley, so we have an upgrade at the backup catcher position. But there's one thing that I have to report. You can see all the improvements we made to the lineup in this episode, but there is one thing that we are going to have to deal with. Brandon Phillips, in about August, I believe, he was injured for the rest of the season, including the playoffs, so he's not going to be returning for the rest of this season. You can see our record there. We are 89-67. If we get our 90th win tonight against the Yankees here in Toronto at the Rogers Center, we will be able to clinch a playoff spot. But right here you can see the Yankees lineup: Brett Gardner, Ramon Flores, Robinson Cano, Teixeira, Beltre, Asdrubal Cabrera, Cody Ross, Austin Romine, and Justin Maxwell rounding out their lineup. We have Josh Johnson going up for the Blue Jays in this game. He's 14-7 on the season with a 3.49 ERA. He is in the running for the Cy Young, but probably not going to get it here. But right here you can see in the top half of the first inning, I'll talk about the solution for the Phillips injury in a little bit. 2-2 pitch here to their second hitter. I believe that was Chris Granderson, and he's going to ground out to second base, and that is going to be the 3rd out of the inning. So you can see our lineup here for the Toronto Blue Jays, managed by Ron Gardenhire: Reyes, Laurie, Trout, Bautista, Encarnacion, Mauer, Yoenis Cespedes, Miguel Sano, and Philip Hatfield. So I have a lot of explaining to do on this one. If you guys, as I just said a little bit ago, Brandon Phillips is going to be out for the rest of the season, so we needed a solution in there. So Miguel Sano, who has been out for a while, he's been our DH for pretty much the entire season. He's been rotating with Yasiel Puig at the DH position. We decided to move him to second base because that's one of his secondary positions. His main position is third base, but we decided to play him at second base. That's pretty much going to be how it's going to work for the rest of the season, including the playoffs. He is going to be our second baseman, and then after that, he's the second baseman, so we needed somebody at the DH spot, and we moved Edwin Encarnacion to the DH position, and then we called up a guy that has been our highest touted prospect this whole time. He is an 85 overall, I believe. He has a little bit of a weird batting stance. Philip Hatfield. He's a very, very stud player. You can see Sano's going to go deep right here, and that'll give us the 2-run lead here. We go up 2-0 over the Yankees here, and that's a good start to the ball game. But Philip Hatfield, I think the next at-bat after this home run is him. You can see his batting stance. He's a little bit of an awkward player, but he's a very, very solid player. I think he's only 19 years old, and he's very, very solid. We drafted him in the first year with the 6th overall pick, either 6th or 9th. If somebody even cares about that, you can go back and check. But yeah, so it's a very, very, very good move, and he's going to really help with the squad. Even though we're losing one of our better players, he was batting in that 2 spot, it's still a very, very, it's still not going to be that bad. So yeah, that's pretty much it. One thing that I did want to go over is some of the ratings of the players, because some of you guys have been wondering about that. And you can see Philip Hatfield gets his base hit there, and with him on second, Trout's going to get a ball into the right center field gap. That is going to get down, and that is going to give us our 3rd run of the ball game. But pretty much now the batting order wise, you can see Trout gets in there to 3rd base. But batting order wise, to fill in that second batting spot, that hole right there, we moved Brett Laurie up there because I think he can be a top of the order kind of guy. So we moved him into the 2 spot, and then Philip Hatfield bats last, and then Cespedes bats behind. He bats behind Joe Mauer, and that's pretty much how the lineup's going to work for the next little while. And then Sano bats in the 8th spot, I believe. So we have still a very deep lineup. And some of the ratings that you guys have been wondering about, mainly it's been like Miguel Sano's like an 87 or something, I believe. Brett Laurie's a 90. There's a bunch of guys, like pretty much most of our teams like 85 plus. Like we really don't have anybody that's rated badly. But right there, they get another base hit, and they put another run on the board. I believe that's their 2nd run of the game. Now I'm going to get back into the gameplay. So you can see the score is 4-1 for the Blue Jays. In the top of the 5th, we're going to get a ground ball, and that's going to be a double play. Miguel Sano not natural at second. He didn't get the fastest turn in there, but still gets a decent turn in there. But 2-0 pitch to them, and they're going to get a ball into the right center field gap. That was going to drop in front of Bautista, and he's going to get into second base with a stand-up double. So with him on second, Teixeira comes up with none out, 2-0 count. Josh Johnson deals. That's going to be a fly ball deep to right field. Bautista's going to come up throwing as he's tagging from 3rd base. He cannons it to the plate, but not in time. A hose from deep right field. That will bring across their 2nd run of the day. You can see through 6 innings, we have 2 runs, 7 hits. Well, the Yankees have 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and we have 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors, 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and Cody Ross is 2 for 2, and Sano is 2 for 2 with that bomb. So right here you can see Robinson Cano is going to get a ball into the left center field gap. That ball is going to be down, and that one is going to get all the way to the wall. We're going to pick that one up with Cespedes. And one thing that I do like now that we've acquired Cespedes is that now all 3 of our outfielders have very, very strong arms. As you can see, Philip Hatfield has a very nice pick right there. But yeah, we pretty much have 3 very, very strong outfield arms. I know Puig and Will Myers in real life, they both have very strong arms. But in the game, at the time of making this, neither of them were in the MLB whenever the rosters for this came out. They were the Operation Sports rosters, but still, nobody had either player as highly rated as they should be. But I know you guys are going to be opposed to me trading both of those guys away for Cespedes, because in real life, if that actually happened, that'd be a crazy deal. But in the game, Cespedes and Will Myers are just not what they are in real life. So yeah, you can see we had another base hit there after a double off the top of the wall by Jose Reyes. With the runners on 2nd and 3rd, Mauer is going to ground out to the pitcher, and that's going to do it for the bottom half of the 8th. We head to the top of the 9th. Josh Johnson still on the hill. That is going to get down off the glove of Bautista. They gave him a base hit, and no error credited to Bautista. Cody Ross comes up with 1 out now, 2-0 pitch. He's going to drive that one into center field. Trout comes up throwing. He throws a cannon into the cut, and that is going to get them another base hit. And the tying run is going to come to the plate in Johnny Peralta. Trying to play hero over here is Johnny Peralta, coming off the bench, grabbing a bat and stepping into the batter's box. He's batting .247 on the season, 12 bombs, and he has a potential to tie this game up. But with a 1-2 pitch, Josh Johnson says, have a seat, but it's the one on the left side of the bench over there, and that will get us the 2nd out of the inning. Brett Gardner comes up. He's going to get a little chopper over the head of Josh Johnson, and Jose Reyes is going to make the throw on to first base. That's going to do it for this ball game, and we go on to win. I have some stats coming up. We do clinch that playoff spot. Well, the division. We had the playoff spot clinch a long time ago. That's why they didn't celebrate, but that's pretty much just the division that we are getting. And yeah, the player of the game was obviously Josh Johnson, going 9 innings strong. And yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this episode, guys. You can stick around for the box scores and some stats like league leaders, no, not league leaders, MVP, Cy Young, and everything like that. But if you guys want to see more of this, we're gonna have the playoffs coming out as soon as possible. I think this week I'm gonna try and wrap up this season. And yeah, so that's pretty much gonna do it for this episode, guys. I'm gonna try and get more of this out possibly tomorrow, and then the following day I have the whole playoffs recorded and everything. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
5-2. So long from Toronto.